Morning, everyone, or afternoon as it probably is now, even though we haven't quite made it to lunch. So I want to just give a brief definition of 101 that's slightly different to the whole Room 101 concept. More of a 101 in introducing a subject to you guys, and hopefully it's a subject that everyone's familiar with. Everybody's heard of 100 gig, everyone's probably deploying it, but hopefully by talking about some of the different technologies within transceivers in 100 gig and give you a bit more understanding. So, form factors. Started big with CFPs, got smaller with CFP2s, and now we've got CFP4 and QSFP28s, which mean you get more density in the same space, but also less power consumption, which is important as you deploy more. Two main types of technology with 100 gig. Most 100 gig now is 4 lanes of 25 gig from the switch. So 2 presentations, either presenting those as 8 fibers or with a WDM and presenting on a single fiber pair. So in the transport arena, it's mainly CFP based for the longer reach stuff. So this is anything over 10 kilometers. And the reasons for that are package size, power consumption, be able to drive a long distance. And we're seeing ER4 becoming more popular even at QSFP28 as the technology improves to shove that in. And the key around these is that the wavelength plan that these things follow are the LAN WDM form. So it's the wavelengths there, 1295 through 1309. So those 4 wavelengths that are used are in that range. And the important part with that is when we move on to some of the other technologies for 100 gig, it's about compatibility. So if you're using those 4 wavelengths, you can plug an LR4 into an LR4, but as you move to some of the other ones, it's awareness of what works with what. So looking at some of the shorter reach technologies, obviously the single non-WDM solutions are SR4, the enhanced reach SR4s, and the PSM4s, which is a single mode version, sometimes also called PLR4, just to keep you confused. But then on the WDM solutions, they range from a multi-mode SWDM4, which isn't compatible with any of the others, the CWDM, CLR4, and ECWDM4, which use a wider range of wavelengths, and then the LR4, LR4Ls, which use the standard shorter band waves. So the key there is that if you've got equipment here that you're connecting to equipment there, and this one's got a CWDM4 interface, and this one's got an LR4 interface, they're not going to work. So it's picking technologies that will interact with each other. And most of these are in the QSFP28 form factor, although we are starting to see some CFP4s in some of these as well. Something else just to briefly talk about there is green transceivers, or looking at reducing the power consumption. So QSFP28 has a maximum power consumption of 3.5 watts. There are new ways of building transceivers with a single chip rather than having a number of different components, and you can reduce the power consumption to sub 2 watts, which if you've got thousands of interfaces, that can make a big difference. If you've only got one, it's not going to make a big difference to you. But the key is, as the power consumption comes down, then you can use all of it to drive further distances. But the interesting part is about compatibility and what can you plug into what. So if you've got CWDM4 interfaces, you can't connect them to LR4Ls, even though the distance is the same, because it's using different wavelengths. And this is one of the problems that we see in the industry, is that some vendors of switches and routers favour one technology over another and might not offer all of the different options. You might be stuck with an LR4 option, or you might be stuck with a CWDM4 or an SR4. So that's where we come in with the options that we can we can provide all the different solutions with all the different vendor compatibilities. And then there's a variety of cables as well, solutions for this. So 100 gig to 100 gig, QSFP28 to QSFP28, breakout fibers, copper cables as well. And again, they can be multi-coded to be working with different vendors at different ends. And if you want any more information, you know where I am. So it was a very brief presentation, and hopefully it gets us closer to lunch. So thank you for listening to me, and if anyone's got any questions.
Hi. This idea you can't match like LR4, CM4 because of the wavelengths. Does this mean there's now, going back 20 years, we're into a market of potentially needing media converters at the other end to plug in a vendor or ISP or whatever?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, looking at the different ones, because they're using different wavelengths for the different technologies, then they just won't work together. So the options are you either change the QSFPs to match, or, yeah, you end up with a situation where you just can't connect them together.
Great.
No further questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Thank you. Thank you very much.